Hello, Taurus. Thank you for watching. Um, I have been shuffling these cards for a few minutes, but I'm going to keep shuffling just for a couple more. If you didn't catch my videos back in November, let me explain a little bit about what I do. I do 2 readings in each video. I first do your love focus reading, and then I do your general reading for the month. So you do get 2, and I always start with the love readings. I always put my contact information in the description box down below. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if you're interested in your own reading, just shoot me an email and let me know, and we can go from there. So this is going to be for Taurus, love reading for December 2015. Taurus love reading for December 2015. Taurus love reading for December 2015. Okay. There we go. This one. Okay, here we go. Love reading for Taurus, December 2015. Page of Cups. The Magician. Page of Wands. 3 of Cups. 2 of Cups. Strength. King of Cups. Page of Swords. And the 8 of Swords. Okay, Taurus. The month of December seems to be like a... Sorry, let me change this. It seems to be a really great month for, like, you're going to be getting a lot of news this month. A lot of news, or being presented or offered a whole bunch of new things. A lot of newness coming into your life. You have the Magician here, which is the kind of like that bolt of lightning, or that light bulb turning on in your brain saying, I have a new idea, or what if I did this? You know, wow, that person is amazing. Just that initial mindset that strike almost as if from above. You know, like this person, this magician is, has infinite wisdom, knows all, if you will, but it sort of very actively makes present in your mind that this could be an opportunity. And I think of this card as kind of like a wild card. It could be anything. It could be a love interest, a career interest, a new idea, a new passion, a new journey, a new trip. Like whatever it is that's new is represented here. And that's sort of sandwiched by your Page of Cups and your Page of Wands. Page of Cups, a message of love, a message of a love interest, someone new coming into your life that, could kind of catch your eye a little bit. And the Page of Wands, an enthusiastic type of attitude, looking at the world, kind of like a transformation, if you will. Like the wands are, I think he's got little salamanders on his robes. He represents a transformation, a new passion, a new pursuit. And the wands are a very active suit. They're taking that next step, moving forward in a direction, making plans and executing them. which is really, really great. And down at the bottom, you have your Page of Swords. A new idea, a new curiosity about something, a new kind of mindset, or set, coming out of a period of frustration, or coming out of a period or a phase of darkness or mental cloudiness. And here is the page, youthful and open-minded, and someone that is willing to listen to new ideas and to explore new concepts. So a lot of that going on, a lot of like being open to new opportunities in all elements, in all aspects of your life. I see a very social month, in addition to these pages representing energies and your own internal mindset. I do see them as people, and being, you being maybe very social. It's December, it's the holidays, there's a lot of parties and events and charitable things going on. I see you being a social person, and from that, from going out and being open to that, and sort of celebrating, I always say that this card reminds me of the ladies dancing around the maypole. So bringing in the new season and celebrating, the new season. And so here we are at the end of the year celebrating the bringing in of the new year. So it makes sense, and through these events, through these social outings, it is possible you may be approached by someone with a message or a particular love interest that could prove, a little bit interesting to you. In the very center of your reading, you have the Two of Cups, which is, that initial attraction, that initial spark of, this might be worthwhile. Like, I like this person. We communicate well. We have a good thing going, a good little repartee. Let's kind of see where this is going. You have a lot of cups here. A lot of cups. And honestly, I do feel that this initial attraction will take place with someone as represented here by the King of Cups. Maybe it's someone who is ready to move into that level of marriage, or move into that new realm of something more committed, more serious. If you're single, I do see this as someone new coming into your life, maybe someone you haven't ever met before. If you are in a relationship, or if you are married, I see this as being, this would then be indicative of your partner, them coming to a new level of bringing a new element of romance into your relationship, something that, maybe is a little bit foreign to them and a little bit foreign to you and your relationship with them. And they just are feeling really enamored and attracted to you, and that you're just, someone that they're really, really into. And this person, oftentimes the cups represent water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, and why can't I think of this right now? Cancer. But it doesn't have to. It could just be someone that is displaying those energies at this point in time. But mature, well-grounded, well-balanced. Here's the king on rough waters, yet he's maintaining his stature on a throne of stone. looking out over, kind of analyzing into the world, maybe a more creative type energy, someone a little bit more inclined toward the creative arts, um, someone who is just a very romantic person in general. I am seeing a little bit of hesitation on your part, though. It seems like such a great reading, but at the end of this, you have your Eight of Swords, which maybe you are, maybe so much new is happening and so much new is coming into your life that you aren't quite like totally on board or not quite ready for that level of intensity that they might be bringing. Um, you might, or maybe you just won't even, maybe you won't quite recognize it when you see it. Maybe you're more just like so focused on going out and having fun and staying true to who you are, and which I haven't really even covered this card yet, your 8, your strength card. Um, which is interesting. I always look at the numbers. I think the numbers actually say a lot. And you have 2 8s. The 8 sort of ruled by the strength card. So this strength card definitely outweighs this 8 of swords. So the intensity of this is even kind of diminished, but also yet a little bit reinforced. It's kind of contrary, but reinforced by the strength card. The strength card representing, willpower and, it's strength. That's the name of the card. It's strength. It's your internal strength, your own ability to overcome situations, your own ability to maneuver through situations. And, this is a very intense energy, and it just sounds like you have a lot of determination this month, maybe. Being presented with so many opportunities and so many options, it seems like you just might have a lot of determination to make those things happen, to be, inspired by something and then to immediately start taking the steps that it takes to move forward in that direction. And the determination maybe to make something happen with a relationship, but maybe also being torn or, feeling two different things, the determination to make something happen, but also not quite like aware of what's happening. This card often represents feeling being trapped or conflicted internally, setting up emotional and mental barriers to things, maybe not letting someone in. This person you could have a great attraction with, you could be having a good time with them. They may be bringing you an offer, a romantic offering, but there may just be some mental baggage that you're bringing into this, and not really allowing yourself to be open, or to have an open heart, to be totally open to all these new wonderful things that are coming into your life, and that could just be remnants from the past, because these swords take a long time to both acquire and to get rid of. So whenever a higher number sword card like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 appears, again, you're at an 8, you're not a 9, you're not a 10 yet. So, these could just be things that are being carried over from past situations, past relationships that are just causing you to be a little bit shut down or a little bit defensive. But, which is very common. I think we all do that. We all have our issues that we bring into things, although I'm not seeing any real reason to be blocking ourselves from this opportunity. whenever a king shows up, you know that that's someone that's serious, that's real, someone that's genuine of heart, and it's not really something to be, so concerned about. Let me pull out an outcome card, though. That might give us a little bit of insight to that Eight of Swords at the end there. I have this like music on my phone. I don't know why it's not really playing the right, most soothing music that I would like. Okay, so the outcome for Taurus, December, love reading. Okay, here we go. Oh. Okay. Oh, well, here's your Nine of Swords. 8 and 9 of Swords. Okay, so there's definitely something that is in your mind that is just weighing you down. Like, there's no question about it. It's possible, because this is a love reading, that you may have gone through a period, I'm not going to say a period of hurt, but a period of something that causes you to be distrustful, to be skeptical, to be maybe even a little bit frustrated, to be very defensive and guarded, and even blinded to a genuine offer, not really being able to see your way out. I mean, you have, from just everything else, a really beautiful reading. I mean, it's fun, it's light-hearted, it's full of newness, new opportunities, new sparks, you have 3 pages, you have a 2 and 3 of cups. Those are low-level, low-numbered cups. It's the beginning. It's moving into, like a real journey. And yet you are killing yourself softly. You're weighing yourself down with thoughts and doubts that you have toward a potential partner. I feel like this is very much geared toward this offering that is being presented to you. In the beginning of the reading, I feel like I said, that this page, of swords down here really represents you being open and curious and with a new, fresh set of eyes, which I feel like it is. And it seems as though this King of Cups has sparked a level of curiosity within you, and that you are intrigued by them, and you are looking at them, and you're interested, and you feel an attraction. Definitely, it's there. But maybe you aren't allowing next steps to really happen. You have 3 pages here, no knights, no queens, no, 1 king that's representing, someone else. But you aren't necessarily maybe progressing. And I think maybe these swords are keeping you at this innocent, superficial, surface level of interest. You do have your strength card here, which is, a determination, a willpower, and you have that power within you to make whatever you want happen. And these two cards reinforce and conflicting with one another, your strength and your Eight of Swords. You have that power to do it. You may have that drive, but equally as much, you have that, internal prevention, I guess, if you will. You are also preventing it from happening. So somewhat opposing forces, coupled with just like things that are really, really bothering you, things that are keeping you up at night, things that you just can't seem to get over. You are progressing from an 8 to a 9. Maybe these things, these swords, these issues that you're carrying over are getting worse and they're not being worked out. But you have the willpower, you have the strength to overcome those, as long as you put the focus and the attention on that strength and not on the issues. And again, these swords take a long time to both acquire and to get rid of. And the only way to really get rid of them is to just work through them. And that is where the strength comes in, is being able to work through those issues and simultaneously remaining open and curious about new opportunities, new ventures, new passions, new exciting things that come into your life. And not letting these swords prevent you from experiencing, the joy of the season, the things that are going to be fun this month, the things that are going to initiate these wonderful attractions and these great conversations and these, meeting of the minds with someone that's really a quality person. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting love reading for you, Taurus. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to shuffle these for several minutes, and then I'm going to do your general reading for December 2015. Okay, Taurus, here we go. I'm going to keep shuffling for a couple more minutes, but this is for your general reading for December 2015. General reading, December 2015. One more. One more, actually. Okay, here we go. Okay, Taurus, general reading for December 2015. Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Justice, Ten of Wands, the Magician, recurring from the last reading, the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, your King of Wands, and your Nine of Cups. Okay, Taurus. A lot of times I see in these general readings a lot of the concepts and ideas from the love reading that get carried over into the general reading, just because that's like a main theme or a main focus for them for that month. However, for you, I am seeing a lot of like maybe work related ideas, a lot of, more just like action type of things happening. So I'm going to start in the center of the reading because it's the Magician, which we had in the last reading as well. And I told you that I think of this kind of as like a wild card for a new beginning, or a new like stroke of genius in any capacity, whether it's in terms of love, career, some type of action or trip that you want to take, or some sort of idea that you have, new business venture, whatever it is, that you have this like immediate like an aha moment, if you will. And a lot of new things coming into your life this month. And it just seems like you are going to be working a lot, and not necessarily just working or being at the office, but whatever your goal or ambition is, that you are going to take the time that it takes, that's required to make something successful, that you're going to, and I always say this with this card because it's just such a good image, is to put your head down and go to work. Look down, stay focused, don't get cocky by the things that you have. This card, kind of represents a level of humility. Yes, you have accomplished a lot, and yes, you have done a lot, but you still have a long ways to go. And you may be working hard in your actual career, or in other capacities as well. You might just be like just doing your duty, fulfilling your obligations, and doing so, with that sense of duty, and, doing what's being expected of you without any sort of, like with a positive attitude. You're happy to do the work. And kitty corner to that, diagonal to that, is your Ten of Wands, which is for me, these cards reinforce each other just perfectly. It's, a man carrying his wands. They are blossoming. They do prove to be fruitful. However, they are heavy and clunky. They are chunky and a little bit clumsy and difficult to carry. There's, a strain on his back, but these wands are being carried and will be put to good use. They're not just, they're not decorative. They have a sense of utility. They are going to be used for something. So you are bearing this load, and you are going to work willingly and productively in order to produce something. And it seems like whatever it is you're working toward, you're going to feel a lot of the load this month, that you will be just lost in your work, if you will. And, with your so you have your 9 and your 10 of Wands here. And they're very similar cards, they're similar in color. They're similar in terms of there's one person in here. You are bearing this load alone. You have a goal that you are set on, and you're the only one that can really accomplish that. And with your 9 of Wands, though, it's a little bit more, like a courage card. You're setting out, you're doing it, you're braving it, you are defending everything. So, you're defending everything that you've put these wands up. They're sort of protecting your land, your kingdom, or whatever it is that's back here. They are protecting it, and you aren't going to let anyone pass that's not welcome. You're defending it. You're staying strong. You're staying firm. You are staying focused. So I'm just seeing a lot of focus for you this month. And, your Knight of Pentacles, perfect card for that exact same, what have you, that exact same idea. The Knight of Pentacles, and this is your energy here. I feel that this is you. It is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. It's you. And I say the word like a slow energy, but when I say slow, just more methodical, more practical, taking the logical next steps. You're an earth sign. I'm a Virgo, so I relate very well to this as well. It's just your sense of duty, your sense of persevering, carrying through, and just doing what it takes to get the job done. And again, the concepts are being reinforced again and again and again. And your Justice card is, things coming to fruition, if you will. I think of this card as being a judge listening to a court case. Justice, that's what justice is. It's getting what's rightfully due. So being able and having the ability to look at things from all angles, to evaluate, to balance things, which again, all your cards are reinforcing one another. This is such a great reading. I love it. Your sense of getting what you give and giving what you get, and ensuring that sense of humility, and when you receive, to be sure you give back, and when you give, also being sure that you are able to receive. That sense of balance. I mean, both of these people here are balancing the scales. And if you do good work, if you are productive and methodical and smart and intelligent and make the right decisions and take the logical steps forward to making things happen, which you do, you are willingly carrying this load and bearing this responsibility, and you are, you're not just willing to do it, but that you are actually doing it. You are happy to do it, you have the right attitude, and you're taking the next steps to do it, to make it happen for yourself. And again, you're making it happen for yourself. And to not be afraid to ask for help when you need it, and definitely stay humble and be sure to give as much as you get. Make sure that you're giving back and helping others in your journey. You are a dutiful person. So it all just seems very natural for you. All these concepts. It just Taurus. I am seeing a King of Wands here. A visionary type presence. Again, a wand, the salamander, the symbols of transformation, the symbol of taking things from one state and bringing them to another state. And it makes sense. If this is, some goal that you have, or if you have a career that you're able to sort of grow up in, or if you own your own business and you're able to take it from one stage to the next, it seems like now you are really going to be focused on making that change happen. I don't necessarily see this King of Wands as being a person, but rather the energy, that process of transformation, that being the visionary. And while you are in this mental state of getting it done and bearing the load and your obligation and taking those next steps, you also have to be that more strategic mind, that more, okay, as a business owner, you think, well, here's my business as it is today. Here's point A. What do I need to do and what steps do I need to take in order to make it happen, in order to get to point B? So from point A to point B. And as that visionary, you are able to see in your mind and to articulate very well. Your wand's also great for communication, being able to clearly express the things that you need of other people, to make those things happen. And and I'm using the business owner example, but in whatever capacity, if you are a business owner and you have employees, ensuring that they are feeling compensated and feeling appreciated in order to get what you need out of them, in order to make these goals happen for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm being clear. And at the very end of the reading, I've been saving this because this is your Nine of Cups. I mean, I love this card. Who doesn't love this card? It's the ultimate in emotional fulfillment. It's you. It is an alone, independent presence. I'm not seeing other people in this reading. Your presence is being represented by the Knight of Pentacles. This King of Wands is merely an energy of being that visionary type of person, and this spark, this initial bolt of lightning of an idea or some sort of ambition that comes to you, and being dutiful and accomplishing your goals, doing all of those things, again, alone. And while you may need people in that process, again, the business owner example, your employees or your mentors or the people, your partners, your strategic partners, whatever have you, but ultimately you are the one that is so empowered. Okay, here comes the Strength card from your love reading. You are empowered to make these things happen for yourself. And ultimately, we are all responsible for our own happiness and emotional fulfillment. And it seems like this month you will feel that. You will work hard, but you will feel rewarded. It's a work that you love. It's a work that you hold true to your heart, that you believe in. It's a work that helps other people. It's a work that helps yourself. And it's all encompassing. So it seems like, it seems like you really have a very productive but yet challenging month ahead of you. So let me go ahead and pull the final card for this reading. Taurus, one more. Okay, here we go. Oh, you're King of Pentacles. How fitting, right? So, I mean, there's no question that this is you. This is a maturing of yourself, bringing your endeavors to that next level. The King of Pentacles is, pure success. It's, this represents the energy of a person, you, Taurus, and your ability to bring to life anything that you set your mind to. And it seems like all this work and sacrifice and this sense of obligation and responsibility that all of it proves to be very successful and very fruitful for you. You know, the Justice card, balancing the scales, ensuring that dues are paid and debts are compensated for. And with this, I mean, working this hard and setting your mind to a goal to make things happen always is indicative of some sort of sacrifice, whether it's a sacrifice in your social life, a sacrifice, time away from your family, a sacrifice in that, you don't get to go on that vacation this month, or there's always that. So by giving those things up, the scales will be balanced and you will attain more than you probably set out to accomplish. And you will be at this king status, this king level of success. I love when I pull the earth, or I guess whatever sign it is, your Taurus, your earth sign. So I'm pulling the earth, the pentacle cards, which is the earth signs, and I love when that happens. When I'm doing a fire reading and I pull the wands, or air and I pull the swords. I love when that happens. So anyway, that's it for your reading. I think it's a pretty clear-cut reading. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so appreciative of all of your subscriptions and your likes. This is only my second round of doing these videos, but I'm going to be doing them every month. I just absolutely love it. And again, my contact information will be in the description box down below. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if you're interested in a personal reading, just let me know, and we can kind of go from there. So thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you next month.